Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. Welcome to my video. It's the home of the 5-minute video. Many of you have seen me on the national news and you're hitting this. I appreciate you coming to my YouTube station. You can see those clips and look at my whole team of former IRS agents, the cast of characters we call ourselves, to help you resolve any IRS matter in fact you have. I've been doing this myself for 50 years. I've worked at IRS 10 years, and our whole team has over 250 years of actually direct IRS work experience. I mean, directly working for IRS. Yeah, we're tired of working for IRS, so it was happy to go ahead and make this change and come out on the light side and not the dark side. Anyway, I was a former revenue officer at IRS, and I used to teach the offer and compromise program. I used to accept offers and deny offers, and Peter Salinger of my office has worked over 2,500 offers and compromise. I don't know how many. I feel certainly not as many as Peter, but we're experts in this matter. You know, if you're listening to this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to fill out the 433A OIC. I'm not going to go over it. I'm going to go over just important parts with you on that form. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and you want to give this a shot, that's fine. The offer and compromise is not so much about knowing the formula, it's how to get the lowest possible settlement. There's no way you or anyone listening to this video is going to get the lowest settlement. I am. Myself and Peter and my team are, because we know how to work what we need to work to get the lowest settlement. So as you're doing this, I'm just going to give you a couple tips on how to make sure you get the lowest settlement. Those of you who don't have a lot and don't owe a lot of money, you may as well give this a shot, especially if you don't have a lot of assets and your income's low. You should do this yourself. You don't need to pay anybody. But if you owe 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,000, that type of well over maybe a couple million and hundreds of thousands, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy to do this by yourself. I will tell you, the odds of you getting your offer accepted are slim to none. Maybe a couple people will get it accepted, but you're not going to get the lowest offer and compromise because you don't know everything involved in the back end. Anyway, here's the 2 tips that I want to give you today in filling out the 433 OIC. The 2 things that IRS is really looking closely at are your assets and your income and expenses. That's critical to the offer and compromise. So my 2 tips are this. When you're filling out the asset part of this, make sure you put the lowest possible values that you can. Like if you have, and you're putting down your car, if your car is retailing at the Kelley Blue Book for like $10,000 and your car has some mileage and this and that, it's okay to move that down 20% if that's really what it's worth. Don't go ahead and put a true retail value, because many times you're not going to get that retail value. So you want to be on the low end of the assets. What I want to tell you about the real estate is IRS is going to use Realtor.com and Zillow for your valuations on your homes if you have those. So what you can do is you can get an independent appraiser to go ahead and use that value. And let me tell you why that's important. People will call me and say, Michael, I got a bad roof and this is cracked and that's wrong and I have some major plumbing problems. Well, you know, if the Zillow and the Realtor.com value say is at $400,000 and these problems that you have are what costs like $60,000, $70,000 to fix, you want to go ahead and have a note from a general contractor that that value is incorrect because these are the damages that need to be fixed. So that could be true really for any asset. That's important to know these little tips. The other one that's really important is for your for your income and your national standards. If you're not familiar with the National Standards Program, you should not be doing your offer and compromise by yourself. You're absolutely crazy. IRS has a very strict policy that they're only going to accept their expenses. And if you're not familiar with them, you can go find the national standards by going to your toolbar and typing in IRS national standards for food and clothing, IRS national standards for housing and utilities, IRS national standards for car payments, IRS national standards for operation of the vehicle. IRS isn't going to budge off of those standards. You have to understand that IRS is only going to accept certain standards. And most people, because remember, I've reviewed offers and compromise, when most people exceed those standards, the offer and compromise is going to go way, way, way out of a fee that you're a tax that you're going to be able to pay. Anyway, if you want experts to go ahead and fill these out and look at these for you, we can. But if you're going to do this yourself, remember the assets and remember the national standards. Those are the two things that are really going to determine your offer and compromise. Like I said, we're experts in this. We're welcome to go ahead and represent you in the matter. If you would, you found this good, please give me a subscription. That's very valuable to me. I try to give you insider information. Also, make sure your tax returns are filed and your estimate payments are up to date. IRS is going to need that to accept your offer. Anyway, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you very much.